એક તો ગુજરાતીઓ વેપાર ધંધામાં વધારે ઇન્વોલ્વ હોય છે એટલે સાયન્સ એન્ડ ટેકનોલોજીમાં થોડા ઓછા હોય છે અને તેમાં પણ હું એવી વાત કરું કે કોઈ એક એવા યંગ ગુજરાતી કે જેઓ સાયન્ટિસ્ટ છે અને તેઓએ એક અદ્ભુત શોધ અને પ્રોસેસમાં તેઓ લાગેલા છે કે જ્યાં બ્રેસ્ટ કેન્સરનું ડિટેક્શન બ્લડથી થઈ શકે એટલે એ ખૂબ મોટું રેવોલ્યુશન લાવી શકે છે કારણ કે ખૂબ મોટી તાકાત છે એ પ્રોસેસમાં. આજે એવા જ એક સાયન્ટિસ્ટ અને એન્ટરપ્રેન્યોર સાથે વાત કરવી છે. મારી સાથે ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયાથી છે ધાર્મિકા મિસ્ત્રીજી. ધાર્મિકાજી, વેલકમ ટુ TV9.
Thank you so much.
First thing I want to ask you is that how do you feel to come here back in Gujarat, because your grandparents were from Gujarat, and then how do you feel coming here?
It's a really big piece of my life that's missing, actually, you know, because we are Gujarati, we feel it, we are on the outside and the inside, we eat our Mahajati curry, but we live in these other countries, so our influences are diverse, but home is always being Gujarati.
Absolutely.
So it means a lot.
I want to ask you about one of your discoveries, major discoveries, where you invented or discovered that how breast cancer can be detected through blood. Can you please elaborate more on this? How did the process go?
Yeah. So for me, I'd finished my university degree, which was a microbiology degree, and I was working at a very small Australian company that was looking at the association between breast cancer and hair.
Okay.
And I happened to make a discovery with my own hair because I was using it as a control. And for a little while, my hair had no cancer feature, which is what was being seen when we looked at hair, and then one day it did. And they said to me, "What do you do to your hair?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing, you know, same as everybody else." But I realized I'm Indian, and every now and then I use oil in my hair. And therefore, we were able to discover markers that showed breast cancer were based on fats, which is what oil is. And so it changed the way we looked for the disease. And if it's in the breast and in the hair, then it must be in the blood. And so we started working to develop a blood test for breast cancer detection.
And how big is this success is for the world? How do you see this?
It changes a lot of things for a lot of women. So there's a number of reasons that breast cancer screening is not taken up. You know, people don't do it often. The technology is limited to women over the age of 40 in Australia. It's not available for younger women. Some people aren't comfortable with the current process. So there are lots of reasons why it doesn't work for everybody. So this makes it an accessible piece of technology.
True.
Accessible health, you know, for younger women for which breast cancer can be more aggressive. So it really changes things.
Because often you talk about STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. How do you think that can be useful to the human beings, or you know, the evolution of humans?
Evolution of humans. We are all scientists every single day.
True.
We do things, we learn from them, and then we change our perception or the way that we behave. For me, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are disciplines that have made me very powerful. And I didn't realize how powerful until I was able to do this, which means that I could affect lots of women around the world, I could change their lives or give them a peace of mind,
True.
something helpful. And so if you're doing a STEM degree in any of those disciplines, you can change things, you can revolutionize things, you can have an impact, and you can make the world a better place or a place that you wish it to be. And I think that's a very powerful thing, and we should be putting that into our younger generations.
True, that's a very nice thought. I would like to ask you that how did you get attracted towards science and especially biology? Because you often mention about it.
Yeah, I think I love biology the most because I think Mother Nature got it right the first time. I think the other piece is science is a few different things. The first part is it's 50%, especially biology, 50% theory and 50% practical, so hands-on. It's problem solving, it's being curious, and it's learning and growth. So I love all of those things. But the one thing that people don't realize science is creative. So you have to come up with experiments, you have to take information and analyze it and think about what to do next.
True.
And that's like life, you know?
Yeah.
Science is life. So for me, I love just doing what is normal and natural and figuring how things work.
And you also talk about giving back to the society because you
Yes.
believe in it. Can you please explain more on this? What do you mean when you say that I want to give it back to society?
Yeah, I was a young Indian woman in Australia, right? So I was learning, I went to a public school, there were no extra privileges in my life. And so every time that I've had a step up or some sort of good mentorship or support, or somebody's connected me to someone, I have taken that and been very grateful. And I think if that's the least I can do for people in my sector or younger generations, then it's free and I can do it any time. So paying it forward is the motto that I like to use. I can't do much. I am a mum as well as a person that's working, so there's not much time I have, but the time I do have, I use to hopefully pay it forward and mentor and give advice or connect people, because I can do that.
True. When you talk about youth, they're often afraid of mistakes.
Yes.
Right. How do you see this? Or they sometimes they don't even attempt things because they feel they will fail. That's something pre-decided, right, within. So how do you see that?
My attitude is to fail fast, learn fast, like as well. So learn from it really quickly. If you fall down, just get back up and keep going.
True.
There is no other way. The worst that can happen, like any problem, the other side of it is always an opportunity, right? To reshape yourself, to think about it. I had a lot of angst when I was starting out because I was a scientist and I was going into commercial side, and people didn't think that was, you know, it's not pure science anymore. So I was really worried about taking those risks, but they've paid off because you'll never know if you don't have a go. And the worst you can do is the worst you can do, and you can just grow from that. You know what not to do next.
True. In the last 400-500 years of time, science has given us a lot. How do you see the future? I mean, the researches or maybe the major issues of the world, which can be resolved by science. How do you see science evolving throughout the time?
I think the last 2 years have already evolved science crazy levels, because nobody even knew what viruses properly were. The everyday person didn't care what, you know, a rapid antigen test was, or a PCR. Like, all these terms are now in the limelight, in the spotlight, and people are, they're more aware of technology and the way that it can impact their health. They're aware of, they're aware of health, and it's at their forefront, and they know that it's a global issue and a country issue and it's a personal issue. So I think science, we've seen the way we've come together as a globe, actually, to try and solve problems that happened with COVID, but now, or Corona, and now we can see that science can fix things and can also shape, you know, change the mistakes we may have made before as well. Environmentally, there are so many ways that science and engineering can change the world for the generations to come.
And when you talk about bacteria, when you talk about Corona, COVID, do you think that we often get challenged because all of a sudden, from nowhere, Corona came and then we saw the result? People were very, very scared, and it took us some time to come up with vaccination. So till the time or before COVID, we always used to think that we have enough of science and it's evolving, that we cannot be challenged by nature or maybe by bacteria or by disease. We have enough research that can solve the problems, but after COVID, the scenario changed.
Totally, and I'm a microbiologist, so for me, bacteria, fungus, and virus are the things that are underestimated. They're really, really tiny. We can't see them. We don't know what they're capable of, but we know that they're capable of stopping the whole world now. Viruses can do that.
True.
But they can also be harnessed to do good things. You know, there are bacteria out there that eat plastics. There are, other things, funguses being made into leather. There are things happening in the world because microbiology and all of those things are underestimated, and we still have so much to learn as human beings. There's plenty of room to keep growing and evolving.
Absolutely. And now we've talked more about science. Now, if we talk about India, how do you, because this is the last question, you have come here, how do you see India in 2022? Maybe the potential, or maybe the research, technology, or our strength, how do you see this?
I see you guys as a big player, and I think Australia, being an Australian Indian, needs to have, which I'm seeing now, we're hearing about stronger connections. You guys have some amazing technology, happening here, but also universities and people coming out. We have a strong diaspora of Indian, university students who bring that knowledge with them, who have studied whatever they've studied. They're coming here in Australia to study more. Either they take it back or they stay in Australia. That collaboration is what we need. I'm
absolutely
one footprint, one place, and one footprint another. But I'm very proud to be Gujarati and Indian.
Absolutely, you rightly said that you are always proud to be Gujarati and Indian, and I would like to thank you sincerely for coming here and giving your precious time. So thank you so much,
Thank you
Dharmica.
for having me.
તો જે રીતે તેઓ જણાવ્યું કે સાયન્સ અને ટેકનોલોજીમાં એટલી તાકાત છે કે સતત ઇવોલ્વ થયા કરે છે, દરેક પ્રશ્નનું સમાધાન ત્યાં છે, દુનિયામાં ઇનફ રિસર્ચ થઈ રહ્યું છે, પરંતુ એ છતાં પણ ઘણું હજુ કરવાનું બાકી છે, અને સ્પેશિયલી કોવિડ બાદ રિસર્ચ ખૂબ અલગ લેવલ પર થઈ રહ્યા છે, જેમાં રોજ કંઈક ને કંઈક સાયન્સમાં નવું ઇવોલ્વ થઈ રહ્યું છે. તો અમારી વિશેષ રજૂઆતમાં હાલ બસ આટલું જ. નમસ્કાર.